Welcome back to some more Sayonara. So where we last left off, there's some unhinged stuff. Because while Koji and Fuminori are driving to the faraway location to find Dr. Ogai, due to Fuminori's request, Yo got lured in and shit hits the bed. That's all I can say from this. I don't want to go into further explanation, so you can either read the visual novel yourself or just watch the previous parts on some certain timestamp. So, let's continue reading. It has begun to snow by the time they pass Utsunomiya on the Tohoku Expressway. Koji says. In the passenger seat, Fuminori is gazing out at the frosted window in silence. He's been in this trance-like state for almost an hour now. Taking advantage of his inattention, Koji stares unabashedly at Fuminori from the corner of his eyes. Corner of his eye, that is. He still doesn't understand the danger signals that he's been getting from the man. Fuminori has stopped avoiding Koji, and he's even looking him in the eye when he talks. So why does he seem even more distant now than he did when he was trying to push his friends away? Well, that's Fuminori for you. I mean, what else do you want me to expect? Or explain, that is. Fuminori's posture is noticeably relaxed, but his gaze never wavers, not even for a moment. It's as though he is focused on a clearly defined future that he has chosen to bring about, one that has no place for the needs or wants of others. Right now, Fuminori is complete. Koji cannot help but feel that beneath his bland exterior is a core of solid steel that no one can touch. Koji says suddenly, trying to gauge Fuminori's reaction. Maybe she's on vacation. I don't know.
So?
Oh, Fuminori replies curtly, still staring into the distance. Gee, I wonder what happened. No words. Fuminori's tone is completely emotionless. Koji might as well have asked him about the weather or the condition of the mountain roads near their destination. I mean, I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
Exactly. Not a clue, Fuminori answers, in exactly the same tone that he used when Koji first questioned him following Omi's disappearance. Koji's eyes narrow. It's like you don't give a damn. No. Finally, Fuminori shows some emotion. He sounds hurt, like he can't believe Koji could think such a thing. Wow, Koji thinks Fuminori has no empathy? Maybe she got kidnapped on the way to his house. I mean, it can happen. I mean, Japan is pretty crazy. I mean, certain places in Japan, they got some crazy fucks. I should not even say that. Crazies would have been like a better way to describe it, that is. Sudden frustration wells up inside Koji. If possible, he'd like nothing more than to beat the secrets out of Fuminori's head. Koji is worried sick about Omi. To have his concern brushed off so coldly would be unbearable coming from a complete stranger, but from Fuminori, who was his best friend, it's... Fuminori never used to be this callous. Even if Koji tried to interrogate him, he'd probably never find out what changed him so. Collis? Whatever you pronounce it. If Fuminori were still just hiding inside the shell he'd erected around himself after the accident, Koji might have been able to get some answers out of him with this sly, evasive Fuminori. However, there's nothing Koji can do. Fuminori will never reveal his true intentions, not to anyone. All that's left then is for Koji to discover the truth on his own.
近江はな、筑波のことでお前に話があったんだ。
The Tsukuba? You mean Tsukuba Yo? What are you trying to say? Oh, yeah, Yo. That's what he meant. Fuminori smiles bitterly at the mention of Tsukuba's name, perhaps feeling sympathy for her pain. To Koji, however, it seems like pity, the sort one directs at an ant or a worm.
筑波さんか。参ったね。まあ、あんなことがあった後だからさ、最近声がかけづらくて。
I mean, considering how the way you acted, I'm not surprised. He's like, what the? Unbelievable. If Fuminori's feelings for Yo were really this cold, then he would have rejected her when she first confessed to him. But he didn't, or at least the Fuminori before the accident didn't. Once again, Koji can't help but wonder if this man who looks like his friend is really a different person who only possesses the memories of Sakisaka Fuminori. The snow has stopped falling when they get off the West Nasu Flats interchange. This area must already be getting a lot of snow. However, as the nearby mountains are covered in white beneath the trees, by the time they turn off the highway and enter the mountains, road conditions are already bad enough for Koji to regret having forgotten tire chains. Nevertheless, he continues to power his car up the precarious slopes with only a road map to guide him. Damn. He didn't oh man. I mean, anyone can forget. I guess he didn't really expect the going to the place that is our, because it is a location he doesn't know, or going to, that is. Precarious slopes with only a road map to guide him. In places like this, an address isn't enough to pinpoint a location. His only choice is to drive down every road, including private roads that aren't even on the map, while searching for something that matches the photograph.
本当にこんな場所に別荘なんてあるのか?
I don't know. People that already retired from their hard work, I guess.
人目につかないところだからこそ、Ogai教授は気に入ったはずなんだ。
The more he hears about Ogai, the less Koji wants to meet him. Fuminori is the one who spots the narrow road half hidden in the trees. It's practically an animal trail, overgrown with weeds that are tall and strong enough to withstand the weight of the snow.
これ、本当に道か?
Is this really a road? Koji stops the car and sticks his head out of the window to stare into the dark forest, but he can't see where the path leads through the tightly packed trees.
写真だとどう見える?
Fuminori hands Koji the photo, which he compares to the mountain ridges visible beyond the trees.
なるほどな。アングルは間違いない。
Well, it's definitely the right angle.
行ってみよう。
Fuminori's tone is as flat as always, but there is a quiet intensity in his voice that leaves no room for arguments. Although Koji is worried that his car's suspension won't be able to handle the terrain, there's no turning back now. He shifts into second gear and starts down the frozen road. The sun sets early at high altitudes. As the car creeps up the mountain path, Koji catches glimpses through the trees of the gradually darkening sky. The forest is completely still, with no sounds save for the rumble of the car's engine and the crackle of snow and brush beneath its tires. Beneath its tires, Fuminori is once again staring silently through the front window. In the ominous silence, Koji feels the same faint chill that he felt when standing up before Ogai's suburban home. It feels wrong, as though he is traveling deeper and deeper into a world not his own. Yeah, unknown territory, that is. After some time, a blocky shape suddenly appears amid the trees, standing out against the twilight sky. Oh! Well, we arrived here already. Look at this. High text. That sure isn't spooky at all. Koji turns off the engine and compares the stretcher in front of him to the picture in his hand. A perfect match. Before he can tell Fuminori, however, his friend is already out of the car.
Oi!
Realizing that it's pointless to call out to him, Koji shakes his head, grabs the flashlight from the glove compartment, and follows Fuminori across the snow-covered yard. The photo must not have been taken recently, as the old, run-down cabin before them has clearly been left to the mercy of the elements for some time. The front door appears to be locked, but Fuminori kicks it down without a second thought. Koji just watches, knowing that nothing he could say now would matter. He just breaks the door down. What is this? Some action game? This is some action-based video game shit right here. Just straight up kick the door down. All of the windows are shut with heavy curtains, and the gloom inside is thick and stifling. Fuminori turns on his own flashlight and starts rummaging through the cabin without regard for its owner's privacy. Koji is reluctant to do the same, but it is obvious that this mountain retreat has been abandoned for a long time, just like the house in Tokyo. There's no point in being considerate now. He goes to search a different room. Soon after entering the cabin, however, he realizes that their search is meaningless. There's nothing inside but the bare necessities of life. Some rooms are even completely empty, save for a thick layer of dust on the floor. Of what few pieces of furniture are present, more than half appear to have never been used. There's an empty chest of drawers without a single scratch or handprint, but bearing the telltale signs of mold and moisture damage. The condition of the cabin is eerie, though in a different way than the filthiness of the house in the city. It's like someone put together a mock-up of a home and then left it to decay. Yeah, what a waste of potential of a cabin. No sign of maintenance at all. The only signs that anyone lived here are found in the toilet, the bath, the kitchen, and the bedroom. It appears that the cabin was never used for anything but eating and sleeping. Well, I mean, it's typical, right? Eat, sleep, work, repeat. Beneath the darkened sky, the snow itself seems to glow with a cold, white light. The scene is like something out of a fairy tale, but to Koji, it serves only as an unpleasant reminder that he has stepped outside of the reality that he knows. Next to the front porch is a plain wooden door, half buried in the ground. It's locked, of course, but Koji sees no reason for restraint after what Fuminori did to the front door. The door offers surprisingly little resistance to Koji's heavy kick, breaking open to reveal a set of concrete stairs leading down into a pitch-black basement. Man, this really seems like some horror game shit right here. Koji would prefer to leave such a forbidding place to Fuminori, but it's not like he can just ask him to take his place. He descends into the chilly darkness, the beam of his flashlight leading the way. There turns out to be nothing in the basement but a storage room and a boiler, exactly what one would expect to find in an isolated mountain cabin. The few packages of preserved food sitting on the shelves have long since passed their expiration dates, and the boiler doesn't appear to have been used in years. Koji guesses that Ogai's mountain home has been abandoned longer than the house in Tokyo. Was Fuminori simply mistaken when he said that Ogai might be here? Or was he lying from the beginning? Not sure what to do next. Koji goes back up the stairs and walks around the outside of the cabin, and there he finds the backyard. Oh, wow. It's in much worse condition than the front yard, having been mostly reclaimed by the forest. It must have been neglected even when the cabin was still in use. Damn. This is all this like messed up trees and shit. The grass has not been mowed down. Wow. When the cabin was still in use. The remnants of a woodshed lie in the yard, the mushrooms growing on it speaking to how much time has passed since its collapse. Next to the rotten logs, however, stands a circle of stone that has not yet succumbed to the elements. A well. The well has no bucket or pulley, and when Koji peers carefully into it, he sees that the water is no longer flowing. It's probably less than 10 meters deep. I said minutes. It's probably less than 10 meters deep, depending on how much mud is piled up inside. Koji's search of the cabin has revealed nothing of interest, inside or out. Leaning against the edge of the well, Koji wonders why Ogai bought this remote home deep in the mountains, and what he was doing here. As far as Koji can tell, there's no sign that more than one person ever stayed here. Far from prying eyes. Fuminori's words play back in Koji's head. Could this have been some sort of secret refuge? A place to remain hidden from the world? That would explain why there's nothing to suggest that whoever lived here did anything more than eat and sleep. Koji suddenly remembers the doctor he met yesterday at T University. Maybe she knows something. He takes out his phone and calls up the number. There's barely a signal, but it manages to get through. Koji's hopes are soon dashed, however, when his call goes straight to Dr. Tanbo's voicemail. He considers calling back later, but realizes that it would be hard to talk to her with Fuminori around. Fuminori would not at all be pleased to learn that Koji and Yo went to see his doctor. Koji decides that he'd better tell the doctor what he can while he's still alone.
どうも、殿浩二です。昨日はお世話になりました。
Koji leaves a clear and concise message explaining that he went with Fuminori to Ogai's mountain retreat, giving the address and asking for confirmation that the property belongs to Ogai.
東京に戻ったらまたこちらから連絡します。では。
After hanging up, Koji thinks back to their visit to the hospital. Is Dr. Tanbo actually investigating like she said she would? Her reluctance to speak of Dr. Ogai is weighing on his mind. He talked to Yo about it on the way home, but they were unable to decide whether the doctor could really be trusted. Speaking of which, how is Yo doing? Koji hasn't seen her today. Oh boy. Gee, I wonder what happened to her. Oh my god. Oh, not like this. Should we tell him? We're gonna bring the meme, huh? Should we tell him what's going on? He didn't say a word to her about his trip to Tojiki. She might be worried, especially so soon after Omi's disappearance. Thinking to check up on her, Koji dials Yo's number and is surprised when it rings longer than it usually does. Did she forget her phone somewhere? Just as he's about to give up, the call connects. The first thing Koji hears is a strange sound. It's not signal interference, but some kind of wet, distorted noise, like the voiceless groans, or perhaps sobs of someone far away. No, that's exactly what they are. The person on the other side is crying.
つくばつくばなのか
Who's there? There's a response, but is it really Tsukuba's voice? It's too twisted with agony for Koji to tell. Panic surges through Koji as he realizes that something is terribly wrong.
コーチだ殿コーチだよつくばなのか今どこなんだ
After a short period of nothing but pained moans, words start coming through the speaker one by one, as though each takes an act of will. Well, seems something bad already happened.
何があったおいつくば大丈夫か
Yo must be delirious because Koji can't understand a thing she's saying. Her gasps and wheezes, however, are enough to tell him that she's in unimaginable pain. What the hell? She's not making any sense. Koji feels despair seize his heart in an iron grip. Her ear just came off? Is this just a loss of hearing? Is that why? What is happening to Yo now? 100 kilometers away. Only her voice gives any hint of what she's going through. There's nothing he can do for her. I'm pretty sure that's not how it goes. Who cares? The police is gonna show up anyway. It's not like they can see you. It's not like they can see you. Yo suddenly breaks into a violent hacking cough, as though trying to expel something filling her throat. Koji screams into the phone, his reason overwhelmed by unimaginable horror. Which is why he is unable to react when the phone is suddenly knocked from his hand, and also why he didn't notice Fuminori sneaking up on him until it was too late. Fuminori seizes Koji's lower jaw with his right hand, cutting off Koji's angry shout. Koji can hardly believe the strength of the smaller man's grip. His biggest mistake was leaning back against the well. There is nothing to grab onto as Fuminori pushes him backward over the edge. He can only flail his arms vainly against the air. Koji soon loses his balance entirely. He feels a terrifying weightlessness as the world spins before his eyes. He got yeeted into the well. Oh boy. Before he can realize what has happened, his back strikes something with tremendous force. He thrashes wildly as cold, dirty water fills his mouth and freezes him to the core. Only when his fingers find the wall of the well is he able to regain his sense of direction and right himself. On his hands and knees in the mud, Koji vomits filthy water out of his lungs. Fuminori, he tries to shout, but it comes out as a hoarse groan, distorted by the echo in the cramped space. Fuminori's laughter, on the other hand, is as clear as a bell. Sorry for interrupting your call, he says scornfully. Here, I'll return this. Oh, is he gonna throw back the phone? Fuminori tosses Koji's phone into the well. Koji catches it just before it hits him in the face, but finds that the battery pack has been removed, rendering it useless. Oh, wow. That's one way to do it. So much for not calling the cops, am I right? Or calling for the, whatchamacallit? Calling for the firefighters, unless that, if that's even a thing, to bring out the ladder and take you out of the well. This is no joke. It's a miracle that Koji is uninjured. He could have easily have broken his neck. And just because he's not hurt doesn't mean that he's safe. Koji feels around the inside of the well, searching for something to hold on to, but the mud-covered stone offers no purchase. It's obvious that he won't be able to get out without help. Well, talk about torment. Can't be serious, Koji starts to say, but trails off as the pieces finally come together in his head. Today's sudden change in Fuminori's attitude, that smile that always seemed somehow malevolent. Fuminori hadn't been smiling at Koji, but at the thought of his friend's death. Oh, I got jebaited. I bet Fuminori asked Koji for the request, and Fuminori has that plan in his mind to get rid of Koji. Wow. He can't wrap his head around this turn of events. Why would Fuminori try to kill him? True, Fuminori had wanted Koji to stay out of his business, but is that really a motive for murder? What a thumbnail. Wow, okay. Interesting. Do you really need a reason to die? Fuminori replies coldly. He sounds truly amazed that Koji would ask such a thing. Yeah. We're already at part, what, 7 or some shit? Yeah.
何様のつもりだコージ。人は何の理由もなく死ぬんだよ。僕の両親がそうだったし、僕も危うくそうなりかけた。
People die when they are killed.
むちゃくちゃだ。
そんなに理由が欲しいなら一人でじっくり考えなよ。そこでなら時間はたっぷりあるだろ。
Oh my god, that seems petty as hell. He's like, why don't you come up with your own reason why you're going to die? Fuminori disappears from view, leaving Koji alone in the darkness with nothing to connect him to the outside world.
Fuminori! Oi! Fuminori!
Koji shouts at the top of his lungs, knowing beyond a doubt that if Fuminori leaves, all hope of rescue will vanish with him. No one will ever hear him calling for help from the bottom of this mountain well.
つくばが大変なんだ。おい、Fuminori! 聞いてくれ。ここから出してくれ。
In his desperation, Koji no longer comprehends the futility of begging for mercy. No god or devil will answer him. His only hope is that Fuminori will have a change of heart. Praying for a miracle, he keeps calling Fuminori's name. Eventually, the sky grows as dark as the bottom of the well. Koji can no longer make out the edge of the opening, and he has long since lost track of how many hours he has been screaming. Nevertheless, he continues to scream, for he knows that the despair silence brings... Oh, man. Nevertheless, he continues to scream, for he knows that the despair silence brings will kill him. He's going to be eternally screaming for so long, huh? Wow, this forest sure looks, great. I feel great. The same feeling that you get when the last piece of a difficult puzzle slides smoothly into place. I have killed a man, and no one will ever know. Ugh. So much for that cabin. It is a long way back to civilization, but neither the cold nor the exhaustion can ruin my good mood as I walk alone down the snow-covered mountain road. I was tempted to use Koji's car, but that would have introduced a flaw into the plan. I don't want anyone to connect me to his disappearance. Oh, you're not going to hijack his car? The plan formed in my mind the moment that I realized how remote the location was. Even if I couldn't find anything to lead me to Dr. Ogai, his absence would at least prove that the cabin had been utterly abandoned, in which case, it would be the perfect spot to take care of the problem. I knew coming all the way out to Tochigi wouldn't be a waste of time. I mean, you made him drive all the way to the middle of nowhere and pushed him in a well. As obviously it's something that Fuminori would do. But yeah, I'm amazed that he's not going to hijack Koji's car. I mean, it's not going to be his car anymore. But I guess that's one thing to do, is to like not to use his car, otherwise it'll cause some sort of further investigation, I guess. I don't fucking know. I didn't even need to use the meat cleaver hidden under my jacket. A dry well. It's like fate itself provided me with the perfect setting. That idiot didn't even realize the danger he was in, and his phone call distracted him enough for me to take him by surprise. Now, one of the two people whose questions might have caused trouble for me and Saya has vanished from the face of the earth. All that's left is to eliminate the other. The Tsukuba Yo. I mustn't underestimate her just because she's less aggressive than Koji. Even she should be able to see a connection between the disappearances of her two friends. I suppose I should be thankful that it was Yo to whom Koji was talking on the phone. If he'd reported our location to a third party, I'd have to track down and eliminate that person too. I'm a little worried about what they were discussing, but judging by how Koji was screaming into the phone, they probably weren't exchanging detailed information. Either way, I'd better get rid of Yo as soon as possible. After walking all night long, I finally reached the Nasu Flats station just as the trains start running. It only takes an hour to get back to Tokyo on the Limited Express. There's not enough time to rest, but I'm too wound up for that no matter. Besides, I don't want to waste any time thinking up a way to kill Yo. Using the cabin again would be too dangerous, and I'm not sure how I'd get her out there in the first place. I just exploded in her face the other day. I doubt that she'll be as quick to trust me as Koji was, which means that it will be difficult to get her alone. I mean, so much for that, I guess. You could have took... I'm just amazed you took out the batteries out of his phone and tossed it to him. Like, you could have used you could have just stole his phone and just, used it to lure Yo. But, oh well. Yo got lured in by Saya, so it doesn't really matter. I could ask Saya for her opinion, but even I have some pride. I want to show her that I'm a man who can take care of business. Take care of business? Oh, man. This is too much. Unfortunately, I'm unable to come up with anything before I get home. I suppose that I should just be proud of having dealt with Koji, the immediate threat. The search of Dr. Ogai's cabin was a bust, with no trace of his having been there, but I see no reason to be frustrated. Saya isn't all that concerned about the doctor's whereabouts, so looking for him is just something to satisfy my own curiosity.
Tadaima.
It's morning, half a day later than I normally get home, and the sound of Saya running down the stairs tells me just how impatient she was for my return. It makes me feel warm inside. Wow. Just like that? She throws her arms around my neck, her smile at least 20% brighter than usual.
遅くなってごめんな。いろいろ予定が変わったもんで。
私の方ももうちょっとで準備が終わるとこ。
Gee, what kind of preparations?
準備?
Junbi? Like what? Saya responds to my confusion with a mischievous smile.
ふみのりをね、びっくりさせる準備。
Oh boy, gee, I wonder what kind of surprise. Gee, I wonder.
どういうこと?
まだ内緒。それよりふみのり疲れてるでしょ？お腹空いてる？それともお風呂？
I don't realize how hungry I am until Saya mentions it. I walked all night without a bite to eat, and now my stomach's emptiness becomes painfully clear. However, I can't sit down to a leisurely meal while covered in the dirt and sweat of the road.
軽く何か口に入れて、それから風呂に入りたいな。温まるまでゆっくり。
そう言うと思って沸かしてあるよ、お風呂。一晩中外にいたんだもんね。寒かったでしょ。
Damn. Imagine walking all the way back. I mean, you had to take a train too, so... No surprise.
ああ、そりゃもう。
I'm amazed by Saya's foresight. She's always ready to give me what I want before I want it.